Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Young Sutton, and it's time for another live daily draw. And I almost didn't make this video this morning because I woke up and asked as I always do, what's the plan for today's video? And the answer I got was nothing. But then I realized that by nothing, they meant that I am to just draw 3 cards with no plan, no question, no context, nada. And I know there's going to be a lesson in this somehow, so let's see what happens. All right. So, the first card down is the Ways. The second card, is that Heavy Cross. And the third card is the Fish. So we have the Ways, the Cross, the Fish. Crossroads, cross fish. Yeah. And this is the Piatnik deck. Did I already tell you that? I don't think so. Okay. Now, the first feeling I'm getting off of these cards is that card 1 is showing at least 2 options. It's the decision card, so we're starting with a decision. Card 2 is indicating being pinned down, unable to move, unable to get out from under something, unable to put this heavy thing down, unable to pull the nails out of this damn cross and get off of it. But then card 3 loosens everything up with movement and flow and increase and exchange. That's the Fish. And right away you might look at this line and say this is a story about a tough financial decision, right? Decision, tough decision, finances. But is that what these cards are really saying? We don't have a question. We don't have context. We don't know if we're reading this line narratively or descriptively. So how do we know what these cards are saying? And I imagine this is what brandy new readers do. Yes? So I think the first point of today's lesson is that after you've established your question, right? That's the first thing you do, right? You decide on a question. But after that, you need to decide how you're going to interpret the cards. And you have to declare your intention before you draw the cards, right? Are you going to read this line as a narrative? That's the narrative is the story. It's just reading it left to right, just like you would read anything, a comic strip, right? 1, 2, 3. Or are you going to read this descriptively? And when I do a descriptive reading, I lay the center card as my focus card. I lay that first, and then I even offset the other cards, whether I'm laying 2 other cards or 4 other cards. I offset them to remind myself that this is my focus right here. All right? All right, well, let's leave it this way for a second. So, if we were reading this as a center card focus reading, the focus of the story, why can't I get these straight? The focus of this story is struggle or suffering or burden, right? And what are you burdened by? Too many options, maybe. And because I'm already in a state of distress, I'm already here because this is my focus. This was the first card I pulled, right? So I'm already in a state of distress. And that means I'm going to look at the ways more as doubts and indecision more than options and a way out, right? So it's kind of like I'm struggling with doubts about indecision out of fear of devastation, financial devastation maybe, or like the burden of sacrifice or a sense of duty and responsibility, right? Regarding financial decisions maybe, right? As a daily draw, this could say that today is a day that you must finally deal with a lot of those decisions you've been putting off. Ooh, I like that, right? Yeah. If only I knew which stream led to the ocean, I'd be free. Okay. This could also be talking about that you made a bad financial choice and now you have to suffer for a while. I mean, the cross says you made your bed, now you have to lie in it. You have to accept the consequences of your actions, of your choices. Ooh. All right, so let's put this back as a narrative line. And now the story ends in freedom, right? So now, rather than focusing on grief today, we're just reading this as a story, and now it ends in freedom. It already looks better, doesn't it? So the story starts with the ways. So it begins with a choice. Which way should I go? And it's a heavy decision. It's weighing heavily on us. But restrained moves to unrestrained, right? So it's kind of like we have to make a decision, and if we let go of resistance and decide to go with the flow, it's going to be better for us, right? Yeah. You know, this kind of looks like we have bills to pay and people depending on us, and this could be this feels like a test, and I'm paralyzed by indecision, right? But then the dam breaks loose, and the fish are free to swim, right? And more fish are joining those fish, and we're going to elude. The fish at the end says we're going to elude that fisherman that's trying to catch them, you know, which here, like the fisherman caught the fish, we're dead. Here, we're eluding the fisherman. All right, so anyway, like I said, that the line definitely looks better as a narrative, and this is why you have to commit to your intention before you lay the cards. You can't just change your intention later because one looks better than the other, you know, just as you can't change the card meanings and you can't change the order the cards fell in. Now, speaking of card order, what happens if we change this card order? Because there's a couple cards here that it's pretty important where they fall. I mean, the cross, obviously, if the cross is at the beginning of the story for a narrative line, that's where you want it. You want to be moving away from the cross, and if it's at the end, you know, you're heading toward it, right, for a narrative. And 22 is another one. 22 at the beginning says you're starting from a place of needing to make a decision, right? And in the middle, you're in the midst, yes, that's a word, in the midst of a decision. You know, you can go this way or this way. You can either choose freedom or choose to uphold your convictions, or be more responsible, you know, to face your responsibilities, or you can just choose to woohoo, go wherever. Yeah, so it's important where you put those cards. And before I wrap up, because I noticed this right away too, but I didn't want to say anything for my learners, but take note of the playing card insets here, because how can you not notice that you have the Queen and King of Diamonds, and here they are, both looking at the cross. What does this look like to you? It looks like a couple in the midst of a financial battle, right? I mean, the king knows what he wants and how to get it, right? And the Queen wants to be in control but isn't sure how to. And in between them is the struggle. Yee! Oh my gosh. Now, for my new people, the reason I didn't want to mention that from the start is because for my new readers, don't get involved in the playing card insets beyond the suit energies, you know, until you are solid in your card meanings, right? I mean, the insets may add something of value to the reading or not. Some people never look at them at all, so do not worry about it. All right, that is it for today, my friends. Oh, if you're on Facebook, join my new group, Lisa Loves Lenormand, Traditional Method of Distance. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, keep playing with those cards. Ciao.